Hey there. So, if you're in Tamil Nadu, I'm sure you've been noticing those thunderstorms popping up lately. Well, guess what? That's kind of just the warm up. Let's dive right in and break down exactly what's heading our way for the next 10 days.
Okay, let's not beat around the bush. Here's the single most important thing you need to know. Get ready for a pretty wet week, maybe even longer. We're not just talking about a quick shower here and there. Nope. The forecast is pointing to widespread rain across the state for pretty much the next 7 to 10 days.
Right. So, you might be thinking, where did all this rain come from? Well, this isn't something that just appeared out of nowhere. It's actually a beefing up of a pattern that's been slowly building for the last few days.
And I bet a lot of you have already had a taste of this. You know those really intense thunderstorms that rolled through places like Chennai, Madurai, Salem, and Tanjavur? Yeah, think of those as the opening act. We're now heading into the main show. But why? Why is this all happening right now? Well, the answer is pretty fascinating, actually. It all comes down to a big shift in the major weather systems across the subcontinent. Let's unpack the why behind all this rain.
So, the key phrase you're going to hear is break monsoon. What does that even mean? Normally, you've got the southwest monsoon just hammering India's west coast. Think Kerala, Karnataka. But during a break phase, it's like the monsoon takes a break over there. The rainfall really weakens. But here's the thing. That energy, that moisture, it doesn't just vanish. It has to go somewhere.
And this is where it gets interesting for us. You can see the result of that shift right here. On one side, the west coast gets a lot less rain. But on the other side, all that moisture and energy gets pushed eastward, and boom, it creates the perfect setup in Tamil Nadu for these big, powerful, heat-driven thunderstorms to fire up. Now, this break monsoon isn't working in a vacuum. It's kind of like it's teaming up with a few other big weather players. You've got these cyclonic circulations swirling around up north, another one over in West Bengal, a strong trough. Look, you don't need to memorize the details. The main point is that all these systems are working together, almost like a team, to drag moisture across the country and funnel it right into Tamil Nadu. Okay, so that's the big picture science stuff. Pretty cool, right? But let's bring it back down to earth. What does this actually mean for you right now over the next 24 hours? Let's get into the district level forecast. So just how widespread are we talking? Well, get this, we're looking at about 15 districts that are likely to see some rain in just the next day alone. I mean, that's a huge chunk of the state. It really drives home that this is a big, widespread pattern we're dealing with. All right, let's drill down even further. The real focus for some of the heavier rain is going to be on the southern and delta districts. So if you're in places like Madurai, Dindigul, Theni, or ever in the delta region like Tanjavur and Tiruvarur, yeah, you'll want to be ready for some moderate, maybe even heavy downpours. And that also goes for other spots like the Nilgiris and Salem. And hey, a special heads up for anyone in Tiruvallur and Ranipet. The models are showing that you guys could get some particularly intense and heavy thunderstorms, especially later in the day. We're talking evening and into the night. So definitely be extra aware during those hours. Now, if you didn't hear your district's name on the heavy rain list, don't assume you're completely in the clear. Light to moderate showers are still definitely possible in a lot of other places. Think Coimbatore, Tirupur, and even parts of the Chennai metro area could see some more rain. Its intensity might be a bit up in the air, though, given the rain that's already fallen. Okay, so we've talked a lot about rain. But that's only half the story, isn't it? What about the temperatures? You'd think with all this cloud cover and rain, things would cool down, right? Well, not exactly. Not for everyone. In fact, down in some of the southern districts, the rain is not going to bring much relief at all. We're talking about really hot and humid conditions, with the mercury potentially climbing all the way up to a sweltering 39 degrees Celsius. And it's that combo of heat and humidity that just feels draining, you know? To be specific, if you're in Madurai, Virudunagar, Tirunelveli, or Tenkasi, you should probably brace for temperatures to be about 1 to 2 degrees hotter than they usually are this time of year. So yeah, even with rain in the forecast, the heat is absolutely going to be a big part of the story. Whew, okay. That was a whirlwind of info, from huge atmospheric patterns all the way down to your local district forecast. So let's just pause for a second and boil this all down to the absolute must-know points. So here's your 3-point summary to take with you. Number 1, expect rain. That's the headline. Widespread rain is the main story for the next week to 10 days. Number 2, know why it's happening. It's that break of monsoon on the west coast pushing all that weather over to us. And number 3, stay alert. Be aware of whether you're in an area expecting heavy downpours, like the South and Delta districts, or in a place that's going to get that extra heat.
And that pretty much wraps up this forecast breakdown. The monsoon is this incredible, dynamic system, and this break is really just one chapter in a much bigger story. It leaves us with a pretty interesting question, doesn't it? As these huge patterns continue to shift and evolve, what's the next phase of weather going to look like for your area? Something to think about. Stay curious and stay safe out there.